From Up on Poppy Hill isn't one of Ghibli's most popular films, nor one of their more ambitious. It's a nice, relatively simple romance story. Most of the plot just revolves around a group of high schoolers trying to save their clubhouse from demolition by fixing it up. There is a larger message about resisting modernization and keeping the past alive, which has a much larger significance for Ghibli as a studio, but I'll get to that later. And for Ghibli, in terms of hidden meanings and metaphors, that's some serious restraint. There's usually way more. Now, I'm sure if Ghibli wanted to, they could exclusively pump out complex, layered films like Whatever the Hell the Boy and the Heron is, and I wouldn't complain, believe me. But I think Ghibli understands that there's something beautiful in the sweet and simple. So let's talk about why From Up on Poppy Hill is so great. First off, the characters are all incredibly endearing. Umi and Shun, the two leads, have great chemistry from the very start, never forcing the awkward period that so many movies do, where the two characters have to start off hating each other for some reason. It may seem cheesy and unrealistic, however, it really helps to create the light and cute atmosphere this movie thrives on. But I'm not just talking about the main characters, not at all. Every side character, even the unnamed ones, are so energetic and delightful. The roaring crowds of students, the awkward philosophy guy, those two students who are so focused on trying to make other people interested in geology. Everyone is just so full of life. It's the first movie in a while that's made me wish I was back in high school, which is very, very impressive. It all gives Poppy Hill a kind of youthful energy and passion that is infectious, something that a lot of stories about high schoolers like to skip over in favor of a more drab and serious setting and characters, but they're kids, they should be silly and over the top. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention the beauty of Poppy Hill, not just in its animation, but its setting and colors. You have to do something pretty special to get me to notice a movie's lighting, but damn does this qualify. Characters are constantly bathed in sunrises and sunsets, which just makes everything that much more romantic. Though, it's not like Poppy Hill is just a surface-level love story with no deeper meaning. I mean, come on, this is Ghibli we're talking about. In fact, the kids' struggle to save their clubhouse serves as an earnest plea from the studio to not discard the past. After Japan's crushing defeat in World War II, there was a giant rush to modernize and to reinvent the country so that they wouldn't be left behind again. It was, to say the least, a major shift in attitude for a country that had previously shut itself off from the world in order to avoid change. In particular, Japan saw the 1964 Tokyo Olympics as their chance to prove to the world that they had returned to their former glory. In our story, the school's clubhouse is chosen for demolition as part of the nationwide preparation for those Olympics. And the larger conflict over Japan's modernization is mirrored perfectly in the school-wide debate over whether to keep the clubhouse. Although the majority of students are initially in favor of its demolition, Shun makes an impassioned speech stating that there's no future for people who worship the future and forget the past. Basically, no matter how painful the past may be, you have to remember it, or you'll just end up repeating the same mistakes. Shun even goes so far as to compare his classmates to the old men who run this country, just blindly following the crowd and destroying our memories of the past. It's pretty blatant. The clubhouse represents the past, and the kids cleaning it up and saving it at the end pushes the message that the past can be invaluable to our present. We just need to take care of it, learn it, and we can create a wonderful new present. For me, there is just a very strong sense of triumph that permeates through Poppy Hill and makes me smile every time. The film was directed by Goro Miyazaki, son of the studio's leader and golden boy Hayao Miyazaki. Goro mostly got his job at Ghibli via nepotism, and his first film, Tales from Earthsea, was a complete disaster. It's honestly really bad, especially by Ghibli standards, but Goro did get a second chance with Poppy Hill, and he went to work, shouldering long nights and a production plagued by blackouts due to a recent tsunami. And it paid off, as Poppy Hill received acclaim from both critics and audiences alike. It's not like it's Ghibli's best film, nor one of their most well-made. I don't know much about directing. Maybe it's lacking in some way, but I like it. And for a moment, it made people believe that Goro could become a worthy heir to Ghibli, that this was just the start of a long and illustrious career. It wasn't. Goro's third film, Earwig and the Witch, is widely regarded as utter trash, a truly ginormous blot on the studio's reputation, the likes of which we've never really seen before. Nonetheless, watching Poppy Hill still just makes me feel hopeful and happy, because even if Goro ultimately didn't have what it takes, at least we got this. At least we had a nice moment represented perfectly by one of the sweetest love stories out there.